Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to another MAMJ Let's Play of Corpse Party Book of Shadows. When we left off, we finally made some progress. We got rid of these spirits over here, and I have a feeling that Shinozaki is upstairs because they were talking about how they wanted her body, this, that, and the other, and that's the only thing that makes sense. So, we got a key. I'm gonna see what's up here. Maybe she's locked in her room. Otherwise, there was the whole key box saying that Owl was in her room as well. So, I don't know if... Reference room. I don't know if, I don't know who's gonna be in here, to be honest with you, but she knows like it has to be in here. She just has to. I think so too, Mayu. Of course we're gonna try it. The key turned easily in the lock and the door came right open. And we are embraced by someone who was trapped forever. No, we are not. Shinozaki's looking crazy. There was a dead body propped against the inside of it. As the door slid open, it spilled out into the hallway. I was curious about that too, because if Awa was trapped in there, pretty sure she's dead, but how did she die? Did she starve to death? Did she leave a diary? Was she an angry spirit that's going to come and melt our faces off? Apparently not, but Shinozaki just looks so happy to see us. Kishinuma completely ignored this, however, stepping over it and darting into the room as fast as his legs would carry him. So he's just like, don't care about the body.
Shinozaki!
Yeah, she looks out of it. Within the pale darkness of the room, a figure stood in front of one of the shelves, completely engrossed in some ancient-looking tome. It was Shinozaki! The floor around her was piled high with books, and she'd seemingly read and discarded. Strange, coming from a bibliophile who usually won't even crease a spine. Okay, so she's supposed to be very careful with books usually. I feel like I'm, like, low here. Let me move this, just, forget it. It's fine. You guys will be alright. The curve on the other side causes a turnover on the 9 ball joints that look like fish in the hourglass geoglyph with a white shoe instead of a needle. Huh?
Shinozaki, しっかりしろ!
Yeah, for real, please.
図書室では静かにお前ら無許容の野蛮なつまらない情報弱者の作物的な
Okay, seriously, her voice actress is just psycho.
Shinozaki, もういいだろう。もうやめてくれよ。
I can't
そんなの。
I can't remember what we tried. Did we like hug her?
じゃねえよ。
And like she snapped out of it?
嫌がるんだろう。篠崎に取り付いてるバケモンども。いい加減篠崎から離れやがれ。
これは俺たちのものだ。この体を俺のものにしたい。
Oh! Those eyes! That voice! Oh, God.
ダメだ。僕の方が上手に使える。
この人の中にいる時だけ私たちは痛みから解放されるの。お願い、この体をちょうだい。
No?
この子を僕たちにくれ。そうだ、君らを助けてやる。ここから生きて出る手助けをさせてくれ。だから。
Okay, how many people have possessed her? How many spirits are in her body right now?
ふざけんじゃねえぞてめえら。勝手だろ。ここで死んじまったてめえらには同情するよ。だけどだからって篠崎を好きにしていい理由があるか。そんな権利てめえらにはねえだろ。
そんな正論で。
この痛み、この苦しさ、寒さ、飢え、もどかしさ。お前らはまだ恵まれている。それがわからないのか。
Yeah, but we're all gonna die anyway, so why does it matter? We'll be joining you very shortly. Just give Shinozaki her body back.
それでもな。こればっかりは譲れねえんだよ。俺は。
なんだこの言いなり。虫か虫か。
Come on, Shinozaki. From there, Ayumi took a sudden turn for the worse. Tossing aside the book she was reading, she began punching herself in the head with both hands. That's normal.
ここは静かだったのに。この中にまたイライラ入れたのか。金色のやつか。緑か。
やめろ篠崎。
篠崎さん。あ、黄色だった。
that doesn't make me feel any better.
篠崎。
兄さん来てくれたの。
That's not her.
遅いよ。
That's not her.
私お腹が空いて
Step away from Shinozaki.
何も食べてなくて、ひなさんが私をここに閉じ込めて、それから私何も食べてなくて。
God, that's all up in my ear.
何も食べてなくて。
Oh my God, that's right up in my ear. It feels like she's breathing in my ear. Oh God.
兄さん、
I don't like
兄さん
this.
って美味しそう。
I don't like this.
兄弟で
Please
こん
get
な
out of my ear.
私、兄さんを殺して、お肉食べてみたい。
Oh, please get out of my ear.
やめろよ篠崎。兄貴ってお前。
おかえり、お兄ちゃん。
Huh?
なんだよミキ、また来てたのか。
何それ、心優しい妹がわざわざご飯作りに来てあげたのに。お兄ちゃん
What?
ちゃんと毎日食べてる？
ああ、まあその辺のコンビニとか学食とか。
またそんなんじゃ栄養偏っちゃうじゃん。待ってて、今お夕飯作ってるから。やっぱりお兄ちゃんは私が面倒見ないとダメだね。学校楽しい？お兄ちゃんの友達、持田さんとか篠崎さんってどんな人？大丈夫だよ。そのうちお父さんだって。ね、お兄ちゃん。
Does he have a little sister?
やめろ。
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! Oh God, Shinozaki is biting Kishinuma's neck. I've got to stop her. Oh my God!
しょっぱいしい。
What is wrong with this game? Dude, push her off!
岸沼くん、岸沼さん。
The two of us made a mad dash toward Kisunuma, intending to pry Ayumi away from him through any means possible. But to my astonishment, he met our panicked gazes with a stern "let me handle this" look, reinforcing the message by raising his hand in the stop motion. What?
篠崎。
Come on. Whoa, I didn't expect that. If circumstances were different, this could be the start of a really heartwarming romantic scene. She's gonna bite him in the neck. Kishinuma grabbed Shinozaki and hugged her tightly.
篠崎、戻ってこいよ。
Come on.
お前は他の誰でもねえ。篠崎あゆみだ。
Come on, Ayumi. Come back. Bit by bit, I could see the expression on Shinozaki's face change. Her crazy, possessed sneer gradually gave way to a blank, dazed countenance that then slowly, but surely, began sparking with life once more. and though it was nearly imperceptible, I could swear I saw a smile start to form on her lips.
岸沼
Oh, she's back. For a few long moments, Shinozaki stared into Kishinuma's eyes. Then, in an instant of realization, her face turned beet red. I recall the phrase, "Oh crap," drifting through my head for a split second, and then...
何してるのよ
Aw, he got slapped.
えって
He always gets slapped, though.
どういうつもりでこんな変態最低
Oh, he's not that bad of a person.
篠崎
I am curious about that flashback, though, that he had with the little sister, because I'm not sure if he has a little sister, but if he does, and she just tried to take over Ayumi's body, then that means she died in this area as well, in this school, by performing the ritual. Hopefully we learn a little bit more about that, because I'm curious about that.
何よ
Right now, I'm just glad Shinozaki's back. I'm so glad she's back with us. Oh, the music.
篠崎心配させやがってでもなんつうか嬉しいぜ
Welcome back. Please don't go psycho again.
大丈夫ですか岸沼さん
Are we still gonna ignore the other body?
鈴本さんなんでっていうかここって
There you go. Just get a hold of your bearings.
おかえりなさいでいいのかな篠崎さん
Welcome back. You were insane for a moment.
何
Okay, just explain it to her slowly so that she doesn't get possessed anymore. Please? Please?
話を聞いてもまだ信じられないけど、私この建物の良くない影響を受けていたみたいね。
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
シャレにならねえ暴走っぷりだったぜつうかお前どうやってこの部屋入ったんだ鍵閉まってただろ
覚えてない。でも建物自体の構造が変化するくらいだもの。この閉鎖空間では何が起きても不思議じゃないわ。普通なら起きないような可能性の低いことが常に起きてしまうような。そもそも超常現象っていうのはその可能性が狂っている状態のことで、それを予測したり調節するロジックが。
That's kind of a loophole, I guess. They could be like, oh, well, it just happens. Because she could have went in there and locked it from the outside, or been in there when the guy locked it with the key, or whatever. Don't use logic, that's
よ
what they
く
said.
わかんねえけどそういう話はお前の姉ちゃんとしてくれよ
簡単に言うと何が起きるかわからないっていう話。
Understood.
いい？目標はたった3つ。
We have three objectives?
この学校がこうなった原因を調べて、この現象の中心となっている存在を特定すること。そしてその存在と接触し、ここから出る方法を探り出すこと。最後に出る方法が分かったら、それを確実に実行に移すこと。これだけ。
Okay.
なんだか篠崎さん委員長って感じだよ
ああだけど篠崎一番大事なこと忘れてねえか
Finding all of our friends.
一番大事なみんなと無事に合流することがね。
そうだったね。それがまず第一の目標よね。先生や持田君たちと会えさえすれば。
だな小笠原のダチも集まりゃ人数も増えるしなんとかなりそうな気がしねえか
Yes, the body. Remember the one you guys stepped over?
でも目標を達成するためには努力しなきゃね。私たちにできることは最初から変わらないし多くない。とにかく調べてどんな小さな手がかりも見逃さないこと。
I don't want to search for stuff anymore.
そして何よりやけになったり 諦めたりしないこと。もちろん私だって怖いけど。
大丈夫、私たちがついてるよ。みんなで頑張ろう。
At this, Kishinuma stood up and began scanning his eyes over the nearby shelves.
とりあえず手近なところからってことで、ここで手がかりでも探してみっか。
What about the body?
資料室ってくらいだからよそより期待できるぜ。
Are we really just gonna ignore the... Okay, I guess we're just gonna leave it. Oh, is that the body? It's a girl's body, seemingly junior or senior high. It's mostly decomposed down to the skeleton at this point. There's a duffel bag on the side next to her with the tracksuit partially hanging out of it. And her student ID name tag is still clearly visible in her uniform. Momijigawa High School, Ao Amano. That makes sense. But we don't learn anything else? Okay, I guess. Nothing on this shelf seems particularly relevant. Well, thanks for highlighting it in blue for me. Alright, nothing there. What about here? Am I supposed to be looking for something specific? There are numerous scrapbooks on the shelf containing various newspaper and newsletter clippings. One in particular stands out. It's an old school 3-ring binder filled with articles that are all over 30 years old. Here we go.
1973年、天神小学校児童連続誘拐殺害事件。天神小学校ってこの学校だよね。
その事件の記事、どっかの教室にもあったな。
Dashing the hopes and prayers of their concerned parents, 3 of the kidnapped children return home tonight in body bags. Local police gave an official statement at around 4 p.m. probably yesterday afternoon. Yuki Kano, 11, Ryo Yoshizawa, 8, and Tokiko Tsuji, 7, previously reported missing, were found dead in the basement room beneath the school. The circumstances behind their murders are still under investigation, and the suspect with ties to the school's teaching staff is in questioning. First responders report a shocking, grisly murder scene and have expressed concerns at even allowing the families of the deceased to see their children. Significant mutilation is said to have occurred, and officials believe the sight of this may be exacerbate the already delicate mental states of the bereaved. Yeah, that was insane when we actually found out how those children died. Oh, it was so crazy. The sole survivor of this unspeakable crime is 7-year-old Sachiko Shinozaki, who remains in shock from the experience. Now, I have no idea why I didn't realize this, but Shinozaki, from the last game, like, I forgot what the actual relation is. I know you guys are going to tell me again because you guys are fantastic, and I'm an awful person with an awful memory, but Sachiko is related to Ayumi, right? Shinozaki Ayumi. But they're not like direct relatives. I think they're like distant relatives. I don't know. I'll have to look into it after. But yeah, I didn't even realize that when I played through the original course party. And I don't know how I missed that. Like, her last name is the same. Her testimony may prove invaluable toward closing this case and putting this horror behind us. However, so police are anxious to question her. Meanwhile, other parents have already begun calling Heavenly Host safety procedures into question in the wake of this tragedy. Members of the PTA have... There's a snippet from another page as well, which includes photographs of the 3 victims as well as the lone survivor.
この子たち、私が見た子だ。
俺たちも見たぜ。ここで殺されて、それでたたってやがんのか。
ひどい事件だったんだね。私、最初見た時からあの子たちが怖くて。悪い霊みたいに思ってたけど、この子たちも被害者なんだ。
They kind of are though, because they splatter you against the wall.
鈴本さん、同情心は危険よ。霊の中には生前の人格を失っているものもあるの。
今のこいつらは生きている人間にとって味方じゃねえってことか。
Sounds like a good way to start it.
犯人はどうなったんでしょう。あ、こっちのページに記事があるよ。
Accused child murderer commits suicide. The 32-year-old former teacher believed to have committed the now infamous adolescent kidnappings and murders was found dead early yesterday morning. After being deemed mentally unfit to take responsibility for his actions, he was placed in intensive psychiatric care but escaped 2 nights ago. The psychiatric ward commissioned a manhunt which culminated in the discovery of his hanged body in a room beneath Heavenly Host Elementary School. Near the site of his shocking triple homicide, the cause of death was ruled a strangulation and is strongly believed to be self-inflicted. As this appears to be a show of remorse, previously thought beyond his mental capacity, his psychiatric ward has come under heavy fire since the discovery.
犯人も自殺かよ。救いがねえな。遺族にとっちゃ多少は気が晴れるかもしんねえけど。
女の子が一人助かったのがせめてもだよ。
Spared is kind of a weird word to use in that situation.
でも変ね。こんな大きな事件なのに、その生き残った子の家族のコメントが一つもないわ。
There you go, Ayumi.
どの記事を見ても、あるのは殺された子たちの遺族や同級生の保護者の談話ばっかり。
See, and that's another thing is like Ayumi is not aware of the link. I mean, there is a pretty common occurrence of people having the same last name, especially in Japan, because they don't have like first, middle, and last. Even though that doesn't really make any sense in this situation, but you know, if it's a common last name, then you don't think, oh, hey, I'm related to this person, because she is interested in this case as well. So maybe that's what kind of threw me off last time, but I'm onto it this time.
プライバシー保護とかで書けなかったんじゃねえの？
そうなのかな。マスコミって被害者も加害者も関係なく取材して書き立てるイメージなんだけど。
Yeah, pretty much. Dr. Tomokichi Fukurai's research records. Mesmer's magnetism. Correspondences with Anna Sprengel? Seraphita? Malleus Maleficarum. What am I reading actually? Voyage manuscript.
心霊学者の記録に魔術結社の通信文、神秘小説の古典。小学校の備品とは思えないわ。
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
貸し出し用の番号シールがないから、この学校の本じゃないよ。そうね。多分ここに迷い込んだ人たちの。
Oh, like their personal belongings?
本の持ち主の蔵書印が押してある。キビキ？キビキって読むのかな？
I know that name too.
どれどれ？本当だ。この人も有名よ。さっき名前が出た佐榎木奈穂さんの師匠と呼ばれてる作家の先生。キビキ先生もここに？どうして？
Is there anything else we need to do in here? Is that it? Why is it so quiet? Should we go back to the one schoolroom where the incidents took place? Because I can. I can come back here if I need to.
そういえば、私たちがここに来てからどれくらい時間経ったんだろう。携帯の時計、信用してもいいのかな。確かに空間が変化するってことは時間が変化してるとも考えられるから。
俺の腹具合から判断すると晩飯済ませて早いやつなら布団に入ってる頃かもしんねえな。
お腹空きました。
As long as you guys don't want meat.
できれば食べ物も探さなきゃね。その前にどこかでちょっと休憩しよう。そうしてもらえると私も助かるかも。霊障っていうほどじゃないけど、妙に体が疲れてるみたい。
I'm glad you can differentiate that. Oh, they're gonna pick one. I was like, am I gonna have to find a room? Nope, they'll do it for me. And so, the four of us headed to the safest spot we could think of, settling in for a bit to help calm our spirits and refresh our bodies. Almost immediately, both Kishinuma and Shinozaki sat down, closed their eyes, and fell fast asleep. Understandable, considering what they just experienced.
二人とも眠っちゃったみたいね。
きっと疲れてるんですよ。岸沼さん、あゆみさんを助けるためにいろいろ頑張ってましたし。
It's so cute they fell asleep right next to each other.
ナナちゃんも疲れたでしょ。
はい。けどなんだか眠れなくて、なりちゃんたちが今頃どうしてるのかって考えると、今すぐ走り出したいくらいです。
わかるよ。私もしげ兄のことを考えるとすごく焦ってくるっていうか、今すぐ顔見たくなっちゃう。
So it's almost like Mayu and Nana can't sleep because they haven't found the person they're searching for. But now that Shinozaki is reunited...
あれ、ナナちゃん、
Oh yeah.
その足。
You guys know what I mean. They found each other so they can rest, and the other two haven't found their partners yet, so they can't rest easy. I felt a chill in my stomach as soon as I saw them. There were the same bruise-like markings around Nana's slender thighs that I'd seen before, but they'd become much darker in color. They looked pink originally, as if she just rubbed her skin up against something, but now they were a deep, dark purple, the color of grapes.
大丈夫？痛くない？
あざならさっきからありましたけど。
That sound? Anybody?
そうじゃなくて、なんか濃くなってるから。
ほんとだ。変な色になってる。なんだろう。
I really don't understand this. Like, I don't get it. Seiko had the noose mark around her neck, and I know you guys have pointed that out as well. So what does this indicate about them? Is it how they died before? Because we know that the events of the original Corpse Party game are not... Like, you shouldn't consider them as the first thing that's happened. They may have died before that even. So, what is this? What is this indicating?
内出血してたから時間が経って閉塞したのかな。ごめんね。あんまり気にしない方がいいね。
Nothing to worry about. I'm just gonna panic.
でも跡が残ったら嫌だな。
ナナちゃん美脚だもんね。
そんなことないですよ。
スタイル良くて羨ましいな。私もナナちゃんくらい身長があったらしげ兄と釣り合い取れるのに。
彼氏さんですか？
そういうのじゃないんだけど、大事な人かな。
Oh, Mayu.
いつも近くにいてくれて、私のダメな部分も受け入れてくれて、私を支えてくれる人。
素敵な人なんですね。
He's not that wonderful.
私にとってはね。同じ演劇部だからってわけじゃないけど、王子様なんだよ。岸沼くんなんかに言わせると悪い魔法使いらしいけどね。
岸沼さんってやっぱりあゆみさんのこと。
あれ？気になる？ナナちゃんってば。
Wow.
違います。そういうんじゃ全然。
ごめん。お約束だからつい。でも実際のとこ、岸沼くんにとっては厳しい状況なのよね。
Oh yeah, that's
お似合い
right.
なのに。
似た者同士でもあるのよね。素直になれないところが特に。
まゆさんも森重さんの前では素直になれなかったりするんですか？
だからそういう人じゃないってばもう。でも自分でもよくわからないな、この気持ち。しげ兄に会ったらどうしたいんだろう、私。岸沼くんみたいに抱きしめてほしいのかな。それとも頑張ったなって頭撫でてもらいたいのかな。
Are you a dog, Mayu?
やっぱり実際会ってみないとわかんないや。
That's the attitude.
会えますよ、きっと。岸沼さんがあゆみさんに会えたみたいに。
I like this nice little pause of exposition and not having to worry about terror. Although, you know, calm before the storm, right? I'm just waiting for it.
ありがとう。持田くんもゆかちゃんや中島さんと会えてるといいな。先生も 篠原さんもみんなで帰って文化祭の時撮った写メ交換して。
私もみんなと会いたいな。
Yeah, one of your friends, or maybe two of them, are dead?
ごめんね。私ってば自分の話ばっかり。私ちょっと
You think what?
その辺見てきますね。お手洗いも行きたくなっちゃったし。
Bathrooms are bad!
一人で危ないよ。
ちょっとだけですから。
Okay.
お友達のことを思い出してじっとしていられなくなっちゃったのかな。
鈴本、
Oh, hey, you're awake.
起きてたの岸沼くん。
一緒に行ってやってくんねえか。念のためにさ。
そうだね。岸沼くんは篠崎さん見ててあげて。
Oh, he'll be keeping an eye on her, all right.
すまねえ。なんかあったらでけえ声で呼べよ。篠崎叩き起こして飛んでっからよ。
Wake up!
暗いから篠崎さんのろうそく一本借りるね。
危ねえから小笠原見つけたらすぐ戻ってこいよ。
All right, so now we're in the girls' room. There was somebody talking in there saying like they're gonna kill. The bathroom felt empty. There was no indication of Nana's presence whatsoever.
ナナちゃんと入れ違いになっちゃったのかな。
I hope she doesn't go psycho crazy when she... Uh-oh.
ナナちゃんどうしたの。ナナちゃん。
Uh-oh! The sound that echoed through the hall was like that of a butcher slicing up a large chunk of meat, bone and all. And this sound was accompanied by the dimly lit figure of Nana sprawled out on the ground in front of me. Is this the same thing that attacked them last time? Or rather, part of Nana. It was really just the top half of her body, severed cleanly at the thigh. Oh no! I'm saving. I'm gonna have to make a decision and I'm gonna just do bad things. Okay, so the thigh, it indicated where she was gonna get cut. Her legs were completely gone. And the worst part is, she was still fully alert and aware. Oh! Why did you leave, Nana? This grisly sight was too much for me to handle. I became weak in the knees and fell backwards, landing on my butt. I couldn't move. This is the part where you shout really loud. Nana was bending and contorting her back and writhing on the ground as if struggling to escape the pain and the fear. I knew it! I knew it! We had a nice, happy moment and now it's ruined and I feel so uncomfortable. I wanted to help her, but I had no idea what I could do. Nothing had ever prepared me for a situation like this. I couldn't stand up. I couldn't even think. The sight of Nana's squirming body, gushing blood every which way, was burning itself into my mind. It was the most frightening thing I'd ever seen. I could sense the presence of another person in the shadows, just behind Nana's torso. Who was it? The darkness was all-encompassing past a certain point, giving only the vaguest notion of a human silhouette within an inky black void.
あそこ更衣室。違う。どこなの？あそこ。
That door should have led to the pool locker room, but the lighting, or lack of it, was completely wrong. There was also an indescribably foul odor wafting out from within, so powerful and revolting that I felt I could never leave. It would never leave my senses again. And whatever was lurking in the shadows of that horrible room was getting closer to me, step by step. I still couldn't make out a single feature, but frankly, I didn't want to. His existence alone was threatening enough. Whoever this was, I could sense his shadow posturing itself over Nana's head as if preparing to swallow it whole. Like a crocodile. In fact, the shadow was beginning to resemble a crocodile more and more. Was this even a person? Oh. That's what he used to take her legs off? The figure was now fully visible and indeed was a person, I think. I grabbed Nana by the head and began dragging her into that horrid room. Or wait, he did. Oh god, I thought Mai did it for a second. I was like, why would you grab her by the head? She was clearly nearing death, as it took everything she had to scream in protest. Her voice was getting weaker, and her writhing less pronounced. I couldn't even imagine how painful it must be to have one's severed body slowly dragged across the floor, exposed side down. Oh. Okay, it would have been bad enough just having my head held in that massive, filthy grip. No, grip isn't the right word. It was really more like a bite. I don't know what we can do in this situation. These were the panicked primal screams of a person's last moments on Earth. It's a sound no one should ever have to hear, much less produce. I'm saving. I know, I get panicked and I save, okay? And once you hear it, it's the kind of thing you'll be hearing again for the rest of your life. Nothing can ever wipe it from your memory. It stays with you. There she goes. I sat there dumbfounded, so disturbed that I could barely breathe, and watched the slow slither of Nana's body as she disappeared into the unknown. It only took a few seconds for her to vanish into blackness, but those were the longest few seconds of my life. And once she was gone, only a wide swath of blood remained, tracing her path down the hall and across that hellish threshold. No. Oh. Oh god. Oh god. That's a high-pitched scream, girl. Gathering all my courage, I ran at full speed toward the black void, but found no room to enter. Beyond the door was nothing more than a solid wall. It was just as Shinozaki had said. Right before my eyes, a human being was pulled into a space that simply no longer existed, pulled out of reality. And yet, I could still hear her. That sucks. That sucks.
怖くなった私は弾かれるようにしてその場を逃げ出した。私なんでこっちに走ってるの？走る向きが逆でしょ？ナナちゃんは後ろにいるのに。助けなきゃ。ナナちゃん助けなきゃ。離れていってる。
Oh, poor Mayu. Her instincts and her consciousness are conflicting.
無理。私には無理。できない。
Poor Mayu.
岸沼くんたちになんて言えば。 さっきまで一緒に話してたナナちゃんがあんなことに。足があざの形に切れてしまって。
That's what you need to be concerned about.
あざ？ナナちゃん、あのあざのところは切られ、私のお腹のあざは関係ないよね。偶然だよ。
I would really wish so, but Seiko and Nana, they both died the same way as the bruises.
やだ、私こんな時まで自分の心配だけど。
I opened my compact mirror and hesitantly brought it down to my abdomen, lifting my shirt and loosening my skirt a bit to get a better look. How's it look? Oh, it's way more pronounced. I didn't have to look very hard. The color of the bruise on my abdomen had darkened significantly. It was far more pronounced now, practically pulsating and purplishly red. It looked more like some kind of demented crest that had surfaced from deep inside my body.
嘘。色が濃くなってなんかはっきりしてきてる。それに前よりも広がってきて。
But that wouldn't be from the impact of her hitting the wall and like splattering apart, would it? I don't know.
何これ。なんで。ただのあざだよね。ほっといたらすぐに消えて。
I hope that's right. I just kept telling myself that. It would go away on its own. It was nothing, and I was starting to believe it. Feeling somewhat placated, I lifted the mirror up and prepared to shut it and put it away when I caught a quick glimpse of my face. I saw fear, sadness, I saw defeat, but also I saw something else. What? No. At first I doubted my eyes, but I wasn't seeing things. Nor was it a smudge on the mirror. Yeah, I see it too. It was another discolored bruise just like the one on my abdomen. It was nowhere near as dark, but it was definitely there, and given enough time, it would probably get a lot darker.
なんでこんなのいつの間に。違う、何か汚れがくっついているだけだよ。
I don't know about that.
ちょっとこすればすぐに。
I tried spit shining it away with my finger, but all that did was make it wet. And each time I pressed down on it, the surrounding skin would turn white, creating a greater contrast and making it stand out more. It wasn't going away. It wasn't going away. And if it just kept darkening, I might wind up like Nana.
やだ。
Torn apart at the seams.
Suzumoto, どうかしたのか?
Alright, well, I think that's enough disturbing content for a day. What do you guys think? Man, this game is so crazy. So much fun, but so crazy. I'm hoping that she will be okay with everybody, at least for a little bit. I feel like this chapter is about to come to an end, but I don't want to make this episode super long, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here, and if the next episode ends real soon, then we'll just go ahead and go into the next chapter. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys on the next MAMJ. I wonder if they wrote never to use the rusty key because they wanted to hide. Oh, not because it's going to be bad for us. In most origami tournaments, scissor cuts are considered cheating, but uppercuts are deemed legal. Oh, I love the cut of the jokes here.